See, live streams. Go down to the bottom. There it is. So, streams up, chat's up, we're all good to go. Of the PS4 Tier 2 Pacific Series here on Race Spec Esports. It's time for quite a magical race, the Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa-Francorchamps. 7 kilometers and 19 corners, one of the most legendary racetracks in the history of Formula One. It's currently the longest circuit in Formula One. For some, it's the best in the history of the sport. Keke Rosberg called this the perfect racetrack in many aspects. Though it's changed quite a fair amount since its original layout, 13 kilometers, high-speed racetrack, feared among many. It was redesigned in the 70s, if I remember, off the top of my head, into what it is today. A very fast, flowing, and quite simply magnificent racetrack here in the Ardennes forest of Belgium. But now it's time to get on with qualifying. 15 drivers here tonight, a few more than what we had at the Hungarian Grand Prix last week. We only had 13 drivers for that race, but astonishingly, even with the low numbers, that race I would rate as one of the greatest races I have ever had the privilege of watching. It was simply magnificent. Now, you kind of expect around a racetrack bar that the racing is going to be good, so I have high expectations for this race. With this magnificent group of people, they have this uncanny ability to generate magnificent racing. But I suppose I should talk about the championship while I'll have the time. It's been quite an interesting one, plenty of different winners over the course of the championship season so far. Let's see if I can find it. Tier 3, Tier 2, there it is. Let's have a look, see who's currently leading the championship. Well, I should know. It's G-Force Dre on 174 points, followed by OP Magic in P2 on 131, so 3 points separating the top two. It seemingly is a two-horse race for the championship at this stage. Harass, the defending champion, is in third on 87 points, which is quite nicely 87 points behind his teammate in P1. But over the course of the year, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5, 6 different race winners over the course of the season so far. It's been fantastic. Of course, the latest win, a curving test, Texas, after his magnificent drive at Hungary, secured a win by only 0.3 of a second. Right on board with Conrad Straight, the first man to set a flying lap around this 7-kilometer ribbon of tarmac, heading down the Kemmel Straight towards Le Con, which consists of turns 5 and 6. A lot of overtaking is going to take place here, I imagine. It's a nice overtaking spot on the circuit, coming out of there, coming towards turn 8. You have to be careful here. Negative camber, it wants to push you away from the apex. No name. This corner is one of the few corners on the racetrack where it actually has no name. So it's given the name, no name. To think that sentence actually makes sense. I hate the English language so much. Coming out of Pouon. Pouon is going to be a very important corner. I'll discuss why in just a moment. Coming towards turns 14 and 15 on the racetrack. Fast right-handers that begin sector 3. Runs a bit wide, a bit squirrely, this car looks like. Doesn't look 100% comfortable, but he's doing good. Coming up to one of the most legendary left-handers in Formula One, Blanchimont. Absolutely flat out in these conditions, but if it rains, it'll be a very, very treacherous corner. Then finally into the bus stop chicane. Third gear, early on the throttle, a bit sideways, but he catches it well. Across the line, a 1 minute 42.5. That's a very competitive lap time right at the beginning of the session. Let's have a look, see. G-Force Dre on a flyer, current championship leader. I expect he's going to jump to the top of the timesheets. And that's exactly what he's going to do with a 42 flat. He's half a second quicker than Conrad. Curving Texas, our race winner from Hungary, has just begun his lap. Sir L in the Red Bull jumps up to P3 with a 42.7. Blocky Rex currently on a fly coming through the second sector. There's a McLaren in front. That's Breno. Just quickly see who else is on the fly. Grim Reaper coming through No Name. Oh, that was a moment and a half for curving at No Name. You can see that car go a little bit sideways there. Banana crosses the line, does a 43 flat. He's fourth fastest at the moment. Blocky is about to finish his lap. So is Breno. Keep an eye on that McLaren in 14th. See where he jumps to in the timesheets. Crosses the line, 43.2. He's just off server. Blocky jumps up to P2 with a 42.4, beating Conrad straight by 1/10 of a second. So the field quite close at the moment here at Spa. Very, very long racetrack. You wouldn't imagine that the times would be close, but they do tend to be very, very close here at Spa. Then again, most of this lap is flat out, as Curving Texas jumps up to the top of the table. A 141.9. Pips G4 straight by 200ths of a second. Roscoe Arm in the Ferrari, he's invalidated. Dear oh dear. Joggles is on the outlap. Ah, Pouon, yes, of course. This racetrack, somewhat like in 2019, in F1 2019, the curbs act like auto-spin curbs. As soon as you touch them, you spin round. Almost a guaranteed thing. And it's almost guaranteed at Pouon, which is turn 10, the fast left-hander. It's a very technical corner. It's very difficult to get right. But when you get it right, it's absolutely fantastic. There's no better corner in Formula 1. But if you get it wrong, you touch that inside curve, or even the outside curve for that matter. Well, you can touch the outside curve, but if you touch it the wrong way, you'll get spun out instantaneously, and there's no catching it either. Very likely that you will go into one of the two barriers lining the circuit, so you do have to be very, very careful. And of course, the iconic parts of Spa, Eau Rouge and Radion. Through here, you do have to be careful. Sometimes if you get the line wrong through Eau Rouge and you're coming up the right-hander, the back end can step out if you turn in a bit too much. So it's probably a very, very good idea to cut Eau Rouge as much as you can and try and straighten out the right-hander as much as you can. That way you minimize the steering input and the likelihood of the back end of the car stepping out. So it's often a very, very good idea. Just cut the most. Cut turn 2 the most. Not the top of the hill. At the top of the hill at Radion, very likely for you to get a track extending warning or a corner cutting warning. So it's best that you do your cutting at the beginning of the Eau Rouge Radion complex. Joggle's currently on the flyer in the AlphaTauri. Few drivers on their out laps. Banana's on his in lap, if I'm not mistaken. 2 laps on that soft compound tyre. Around here as well, strategy very, very straightforward. Soft to medium tyre wear is non-existent around here. The hard tyre, avoid them. There is really no need to use them. The medium tyres will do the job quite nicely. Even if you get a broken front wing at the beginning of the race, pit for medium tyres. They will go the distance. They can almost go 22 laps. Absolutely no trouble. 9 puts in P7 for now. F1 Hawk on a out lap. Roscoe Arm on an out lap. G4 Server. Who will be the first one? Server, I think, will be the first one to set a flyer. So we'll stay with him for now. Let's see what everyone's talking about in the chat. Hello, fellas. Wet halfway through the race. You messaged to say there was rain in the race and hit the pit exit. Mate, why are you texting and driving? Don't do that. Hello, Banana. Good to see you too. Don't text and drive, people. Bad. Very bad. Don't do that. But okay, rain halfway through. Somewhat unlike Spa in the recent past. It's been a while since we've had a wet weather race in real life Spa. Well, in Formula 1 at least. In other forms of racing like the World Endurance Championship, it's been absolutely bucketing down at the Ardennes Forest. But in Formula 1, nah, no rain at all. But it's good to see that the game's switching it up a little bit. But it's also nice to see that Codemasters have finally released a patch that has corrected some of the faults in this game. What the most notable of which is the qualifying glitch that used to exist has now been completely eradicated. Oh my word, server, be very, very careful. So you can't take advantage of the 2 minutes sort of time remaining that happens after every qualifying session. You can't take advantage of it anymore. The game will take over your car once the countdown reaches 0. GeForce Servato, he's on quite a good lap here. He's apparently purple in Sector 2, but the game often lies to me about that sort of stuff. It's good to see him fix most of the patches, but there's still quite a few patches for them to deal with. GeForce Dre on the floor as well, so let's see what Server can do. Crosses the line. He improves, he jumps to P7. What about Dre? He's up by 0.2 of a second. He's lighting him up the pole here. It's a 41.8. Excuse me, 41.8. He beats Kevin Texas by 1/10 and a half. Bit over 1/10 and a half. Roscoe Arm about to finish his lap. Sideways is the Ferrari coming through the bus stop chicane. Crosses the line with a 42.3. Jumps up to P4. Seems as well that the time trial times and qualifying times around here are quite close to each other. I was about 0.3 off my best time trial time here in qualifying for Tier 3. And I knew there was a bit more pace in the lap. I made a couple of mistakes that I could have rectified, but I left myself not enough time to set another lap. Breno's invalidated. OP Magic. This man has a habit of qualifying late. It must be a good luck charm or something. Just do 1 or 2 laps. Just wait till the end of the session. Just don't do any laps at the beginning. He's done it several times and he often qualifies towards the front as well. As I mentioned, he's second in the championship. He's looking solid. But he needs to have a bit of luck thrown his way if he wants to claw in GeForce Dre. To P1. 1 minute 41.674. Beaten GeForce Dre by just under 1/10 and a half. As there's a Haas, that's F1 Hall. A Puon. That will not be the last time, I imagine, we'll see an incident like that. It is super easy to do through there. As soon as you touch that inside curb, the car becomes unstable instantaneously, and it's very, very difficult to catch, near impossible to catch. We're right on board with Banana. We're coming up to the corner we were just talking about. See, very careful. Oh, very lucky to not invalidate there. Very, very close. But you can see every time you run through there, it's very, very fine margins. It's very easy to get to make a mistake through there, and also get caught up in other people's mistakes through there. As somewhat ironically I experienced in Tier 3, which unfortunately couldn't be streamed tonight, but got everything else going, running smoothly. As Banana is going to complete his lap through the bus stop chicane, fully using that easy mode. Look at that traction control do its work. 1 minute 42.1, jumps up to P5. Not a bad time from Banana. Harass, the only man yet to set a lap time, currently in 15th place. Looking very pacey at the moment, third in the championship as well. Poo to poo. Right, text and drive, Kirby. Simple as that. Solves all your problems. Don't do it. As Aras is going to finish his lap here through the bus stop chicane. First gear. First gear, hello. Who uses first gear? Crosses the line. There's a 142.1. Jumps up to P5. Takes it away from Banana. Alrighty, so 3 minutes left. This is the pointy end of the session. This is where we're going to see the fastest laps, probably of the entire stream. What are we thinking? Mid to low 41? Lap of the gods if they manage to get into the 40s. If they do that, that's an astonishing time. But that's really reaching. So mid to low 40s. Who's going to get it? Blocky Rex as well in P3. Both Alphas doing a spectacular job at the moment. And it's good to see Blocky on form. Two-time race winner in the Pacific Series. He had good form up until quite a hard race at Austria. Then he lost it all. But it seems he's gathered himself up. He's looking good for the start of this race. But this is going to be the lap to watch. Probably the lap of the session. It's either going to be this guy or OP. I have a feeling. Let's see what our championship leader can do. Now it's very important to start watching from here if you want to learn how to do a quick lap around here, because it's all about the setup here at the bus stop. Look at that. A wider line allows him to get onto the throttle really, really early and maximize the top speed down the straight. 7th gear down to 3rd, down to 2nd at the apex, short shifts to 3rd, coming out of La Source. Down the GT straight away, heading towards Eau Rouge, up through Radion. Smooth as silk through there. No corrections made whatsoever. Car very much on rails at the moment. Now heading up to Lacom, turn 4, 4th gear. Keeps it in 4th, he'll probably short shift to 5th. Down to 4th again. Maybe compromise his line a little bit at turn 7. But he's still doing a good job. A bit of a lock up at turn 8. Now coming through No Name, 5th. Down to 4th gear. Back up into 5th, using all the curb. Now through Poulon. 7th gear, misses the apex though. He could have taken a little bit more of the inside line, but it hasn't cost him too much time. He's still got momentum. The car looking squarely at turn 12, through 13. Heading through turn 14. This will end sector purple. He is by 0.2 of a second. Now the final sector. Only one braking zone here, and that is the bus stop chicane. But before that, you have to go through Blanchimont. Don't touch that inside curb. He touched a little bit, but he's doing alright. Now through the bus stop chicane, 3rd gear, down to 2nd, slightly messing up the apex I feel. Cross the line. Wow. 1 minute 41.550. Puts him up at pole position. What about the rest? Who's next? Blocky's Invalidator. Curving Texas is up by half a second in Sector 2. Where's this pace come from in the Alfa Romeo? Half a second. If he can keep that up, he's lining himself up for pole. 2nd gear. Keeps it in 2nd. Comes out of the bus stop. So 141. He's done it! Only just though, by 0.03 of a second. What about OP? I feel like he's the only man left who can spoil the party. Blocky's invalidated. He can't improve. What can the Haas do? A squirrely moment out of turn 14. He's lost a little bit of time, but he needs to find only a 10th. But that's going to be very difficult to do in a sector with only one braking. Let's see what he can do. He's going to absolutely throw it here. 1st gear, 2nd, up into 3rd. Here we go, up to the line. 40, 41, no, it's not enough. He stays P3, so it's Curving Texas on pole. Only just though, by 0.03 of a second. I thought Dre would have it, but no, Curving's proved me wrong. OP Magic in P3, Blocky in P4, well done to him. I feel like he'll feel very, very nice qualifying on the second row, being towards the front. Hopefully he'll get a very nice result through the race. F1 Hawk in P5, Harass in P6, Banana K Pie in P7, Joggles P8, Conrad Straight P9, Sir L in P10, and all of them will be starting on the soft compound tyre. Roscoe Arm 11th, Grim Reaper 12th, G4 Server 13th, The Rock 14th, and the Breno at the back of the grid in 15th. The entire field separated by 1.4 seconds over 7 kilometers worth of tarmac. Only 1.4 seconds separate the field. Quite extraordinary. But let's get on with the race. As we see in the comments section, there is going to be rain halfway through. However, knowing the weather in this game, it won't exactly come at the halfway point. It might be a lot later, it might be a lot earlier. But we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. It looks clear at the moment here at Spa. Looks very clear. But the drivers will be fine-tuning their setups with the wet weather in mind. And for those drivers outside the 10, they'll be deciding what tyre to start on. Safety car first lap. Safety car first lap. I don't know. I feel like with these guys, they're very, very mature. They have a lot of respect. And they know that they need to keep out of trouble on the first lap. Because as soon as you get into trouble, there is very little chance of you catching back up. So I don't think we're going to see a safety car on lap 1. However, I have a feeling we probably will see a safety car at some point. This is Spa. It's a very demanding circuit. No margin for error. As soon as you step over the line, this track bites. These drivers know that. So we'll just have to wait and see, I feel. As OP has been disqualified with Blocky. Well, that's great. The guys on the second row get cold tyres. There we go. Let's have a look at what tyres everyone is starting on. So, for the drivers outside the 10, it is very interesting. Roscoe Arm Grim Reaper on the hard tyre. The hards. Don't know why you'd be choosing the hards. The mediums can do 22 laps around here, no problem. Unless you're using assist, then maybe not. Server, The Rock, Breno, all of them on the medium compound tyre, which I feel like is a better choice. The hard compound, it won't be very quick at the start. They're probably going to be gobbled up by the medium runners. Anywho. Very, very, very long outlap here at Spa. Deary me. It's going to take a while for these guys to line back up on the grid. They must feel like it's going to change late, but even so, the mediums can go that long. There is literally... You can push the tyres quite a fair way. But I suppose with the hard tyre, you don't have to worry about tyre wear at all. They're like concrete. With the medium runners, they might have to worry about it, particularly towards the end, but it'll be interesting to see. And also, how will all the soft runners cope? They have to make a pit stop at some point. And on to what? Set of mediums, another set of softs, wait till the rain. So many strategies can play out here. But we're just waiting on Breno to line up into his respective grid slot, and we'll get the Belgian Grand Prix underway. 22 laps here at Spa. It's not a particularly long race in terms of time. It's a very, very fast lap, a lot of it taken flat out. But here we go, 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Curving seems to have gotten a superb start. He will lead into turn 1, and in the midfield, drivers trying to sort each other out, trying not to make contact. Everyone gets through. There's a wide car that's blocking in the Alfa Romeo, a very wide line. Oh, here we go, side by side through Eau Rouge is just not going to work. But everyone gets through relatively okay. The midfield gets through okay. Everyone gets through. Onto the Camel Straight. Drivers weaving all over the circuit, ready to make overtakes. Banana is going to send it on Joggles into turn 4. They both give each other space through turn 5. Into turn 6, Banana will have the inside line, and he'll get the position. He jumps up to 7th, but here comes the Red Bull and the Williams of Conrad Straight right in behind, ready to capitalise on any mistake. Through No Name, turn 9. Everyone's still getting through relatively okay. Sorel has a bit of a moment, but he catches it. Now through Pouon. Everyone has to try and avoid that inside curve. Running wide is Conrad Straight. That was probably a track extending warning. Knowing this game, there's the predicted tyre stop strategy. For some reason, the game suggests softs to hards. If you put soft to mediums, like you manually input soft to mediums, your race is 2.7 seconds quicker. I don't know why it suggests going softs to hards. The game, but it will. Medium is definitely, without any shadow of doubt, the way to go. To the front of the field, making their way around the final corner to begin lap 2, not lap 3, because of course they haven't fixed the leaderboard glitch, but anywho. DRS is not enabled, that's not until next lap. So we'll have to wait until everyone crosses through the first sector for the leaderboard to fix itself. But it's currently curving Texas, that's your race leader. There's G4 Dre, fair way behind. Curving's managed to pull out quite a substantial margin over Dre already. Through the first sector. Actually doing a pretty good job, just nailing his marks at the moment. Exactly what he needs to do. There's a moment, it's a Haas, it's F1 Hawk. That's at turn 5. Luckily he doesn't have any damage. But he's now at the back of the pack. But again, lucky he's not too far behind, only 3.3 seconds. Why is the game waving blue flags to him? Honestly. Look at that. Top 11. All within a second of each other. No interval is greater than 1 second. Unbelievable. So, when it turns to lap 3, pretty much everyone in here will get DRS. There is a question mark though. Oh, and a spin. That's Roscoe, is it? No? Breno in the McLaren. A big moment, and he's got damage as well. So his race is not looking too good now. He'll need to come in and get that replaced. He'll need a safety car to bring himself back into it. But now DRS is enabled, and OP Magic is outside of a second, so he won't get it. So this may turn into a 2-horse race now. That's how powerful DRS is around here. Oh, and a bit of a moment, I think, there. At the top of Radion. Dre will get DRS on curving, he'll close in, and Harass will get DRS on OP Magic. Sorel overtaking Joggles. Joggles not having it though. Side by side through turn 7. Contact. But they get it sorted. Joggles hangs on to P7 for now. Breno on the hard tyre as well. So he'll have to just wait until the wet weather and just pray for a safety car. That's all he can pray for at this stage. Blocky Rex, not a bad start. After a little excursion at the exit of turn 1 on lap 1. Oh, hello. That's G4 Server. He's made a mistake at Pouon. Told you it wasn't the last time we're going to see an incident there. Breno, a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. What are you up to? Hang on, folks. Must have completely missed the braking point at Lake Com. Cutting the corner. Still going though. But he needs to be careful. His tyres will be all over the shot. No, he takes Pouon very well. Just making sure of something. That's all. This battle. Final spot on the podium, and Harass is lining him up. Out of Radion. DRS open. Will he use overtake? He most certainly will. OP covers. He wants that inside line. It's going to be side by side heading into turn 4. OP goes deep and he hangs on. Magnificent racecraft from the Haas driver. And in fact, he pulls away from the Mercedes. He carried that much momentum. And Breno, what are you up to? Going into the pits once again. And taking out the pit board. That's always lovely. And retiring. Oh dear. Understandable. But you never know. If there's a safety car at any point, he'll be kicking himself. Safety car has been deployed. Huh. And that has to be because of Breno. I didn't see any other incident on the track. Drive-through penalty for F1 Hawk for speeding under safety car. Oh boy, I bet there's going to be some comments after this race from these drivers. Everyone into the pits. Get their fresh set of tyres. And that effectively ruins the race for the drivers who are on the alternate strategy. Who are planning to go long. At double stack, at Mercedes, Harass onto the hard tyre. A lot of people on the hards. Why? Definitely mediums. Mediums will make it for sure. Out of the pits comes everyone. Curving Texas is your race leader still. And he's on the hard tyre. G4 straight on the mediums. Banana up into 4th place. Because of the safety car. Of course. Because of Harass double stacking and Blocky Rex double stacking. Would have had a longer pit stop. So, Banana out in 4th. Oh boy. There you go. Who would have thought? Retired from the race causes a safety car. That was the very thing that he needed. I assume Breno's retirement caused a safety car, but this is the first time I've seen this in this game. This was a regular thing in F1 2019, where if you retired from the race in the pits, and there was a chance, a small chance, that you might bring out a safety car. There could have been something else that had happened on the racetrack. Maybe some debris. I've seen a safety car come out because of debris. Maybe there was an incident on the circuit. But, yeah, Breno. He'd be kicking himself. That's why you got to keep fighting. Never give up. Never ever give up. Even when your chips are down, you never know when it's going to be your lucky day. The race is not over until you see the checkered flag. But we're going to do another bloody lap on the safety car, aren't we? Oh, God. Another 3-minute lap. See, with Spa, it's a very fast lap in F1 cars. It's not so fast when you're stuck behind a safety car. It's a very, very long lap. Even with the field caught up, the safety car has to do 2 laps around the circuit. So it's doing another lap. F1 Hawk into the pits. Maybe to a set of mediums. Oh, he's on medium. Maybe a set of hards then. Or another set of softs. Because he has to serve a drive-through. And he's not going to serve a drive-through now. You can only serve drive-throughs on the green flag conditions. No, just another set of mediums. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, F1 Hawk won't be too impressed with himself after speeding. He's going to be right at the back of the field when he has to serve that drive-through. Ah, boy. Another long wait. Position change. Sure. Let's see who has gained the most positions while we're not being able to see anything. And I'm kind of surprised how little the field has changed. Banana up 3, Blocky down 1, Joggles up 2, Sir Al up 3, Harass down 2. The Rock has made the most positions out of everyone. He's up 4 positions from 14th. Grim Reaper up 1, Roscoe Arm down 1. F1 Hawk, a big loser at the moment, down in 14th, down 9 positions after qualifying 5th. And he's going to stay there as well when he has to serve a drive-through. In fact, I better have a look at that. Race Director. Warnings. See how many penalties have popped up. You can see already a few penalties here and there. So Roscoe Arm has 3 seconds next to his name. 10-second penalty for Breno, we knew about that. So L, a 3-second penalty, and a drive-through for F1 Hawk. So only Sir L and Roscoe Arm, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah. They're the only 2 drivers who currently have 3-second penalties over their heads. And remember, prior to the safety car, the field was pretty close, so penalties are definitely going to play a part here. Safety car's going in, there it goes. There goes Bernd Maylander in the Mercedes-Benz SLS. Flying off into the distance. Curving Tech 6 becomes the effective safety car. He'll decide when we go back under green flag racing. Coming around Blanchimont. When is he going to go? Not yet. He's going to wait until the bus stop. What is he doing? Unfreaking believable! Have I just genuinely witnessed that? That is the biggest bottle I have ever seen. And it's... Oh, no, safety car wasn't... Wait, safety car deployed? Safety car isn't deployed? Oh my god. Ignoring yellow flags, those are 2 penalties. And if the rain is coming, which the comment section said it would, they have to serve them. Harassing someone else, they got penalties for illegal overtakes. I'll just quickly check who that was. Spam down to the bottom of the list. Who was it? It was Sorrell in the Red Bull. So he's got a 5-second penalty. But that is the biggest bottle I have ever seen. Losing it at the bus stop. Banana, he's into 3rd place. He's overtaken OP Magic. OP, not exactly the best start. He's now got a yellow car right in front of him. But that is quite simply unbelievable. Oh, and very wide goes Joggles at 9-8. And here comes Sorrell. No, you're not going to send it, are you? Thank goodness you're not. Oh, God, that could have been awful if he sent it there. But that is simply extraordinary. Curving would be furious with himself. From the lead. The lead. He's in 8th. Oh my goodness, how on earth was there contact? I don't think there was any contact. I think he just lost it by himself. Oh my goodness gracious me. Harass is lining up an overtake here. Around the outside on Sorrell, heading into the bus stop chicane, and he makes it stick. Oh, this is interesting. Here comes Curving. Hello, Curving. Down the inside, can't get the traction down. Harass into P6. Oh, and look at that Williams looking racy. Oh my goodness, that was unnecessary. Unnecessary doesn't even begin to cover that. Conrad coming back onto the racing line, pushing the Rock off the racetrack. Come on. And the Rock getting a 3-second penalty. And he has damage. He'll be furious about that. But just a bit of sloppy driving there at turn 1, as Conrad has damage as well. Curving, trying to find a way past the stricken Williams. OP Magic now has a 3-second time penalty. It's all kicking off here at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. And we're closing in on the halfway mark. And the action is still like this. Oh my word. There's Roscoe on in the background. He might be lining up an overtake on Grim Reaper. But Curving right on the back of Conrad. He's going to look here. Down the inside, Servo, a 3-second time penalty. Down the inside, contact and spin. We knew that was going to happen. A very tight overtake. Conrad holding his line, a bit of contact, and Curving goes round to rub just some extra salt in the wound. Off the circuit as well. Oh, he doesn't want salt, he wants sand in his wound, I guess. Sand and gravel. And here comes F1 Hawk, who I think... Yes, he has served his drive-through. I think he has served his drive-through. But your race leader, G4 Stray, leading by a second over Blocky Rex. And now DRS is enabled, wouldn't it? Is it enabled this lap? It is. And Blocky is within range. So with one Alfa Romeo falling, the other rises to the occasion. And Blocky Rex is within 1 second of the race leader. Looking behind, Joggles is right in behind OP. OP has lost a lot of speed. He's not liking these hard tyres, I guess. DRS. Does he use overtake? Yes, he does. He's gaining. Not by a lot, though. OP has got plenty of straight line speed in that Haas. Covering that inside line. OP hangs on to P4 for now. And there's Harass. In 6th place. Watching the action. Joggles a bit of a mistake. At turn 7. But it's not big enough so then Harass can capitalise. Through No Name. Very wide is the Williams of Conrad Straight, who's still out there with that damaged front wing. I'm quite surprised he's still got decent pace, but this is where he'll lose so much. Oh, in front! This is interesting. Joggles has just made a mistake at Pouon, and so L and Harass around the outside at Pouon. This is some ballsy overtakes, not going to lie. Opportunistic is probably the best way to describe them, but they're both through. Astonishing stuff. Look at that train. This menacing train. All different colours, shapes and sizes, and all the different driving styles, as well as different tyres. Oh, and into the back goes Joggles! Into the Red Bull! How did he not get damage from that? Conrad jumps up to 7th place. He's still soldiering on with that wing damage. Down the inside goes Grim Reaper. He gets the position. They're side by side. The Joggles gets overtaken. Reaper into 8th. Oh, back in stepping out in the Alpha Tower. You can see it there. Roscoe Arm, he's got momentum. He's got a run. Down the inside? No. Doesn't go for it. But all of these positions, they're point scoring positions, except for that one there. Currently being occupied by G4's server. After being away from F1 2020 for a while, I think he'll be just happy to be near the point scoring positions, just ready to capitalise on something. But what a midfield battle this is. Absolutely magnificent. And there's OP. Effective train as Server makes a move. A 3-second time penalty for corner cutting though. Oh, and Roscoe arm. I wonder if the two have come together. Ferrari not having a good day at all. There goes F1 Hawk into P12. Oh dear, oh dear. I did see a corner, a warning come up. Oh dear, that's Roscoe on again. Cold tyres. Oh, well, not cold tyres. Overheating tyres. It's not cold. It's the other end of the spectrum. There's curving going by. They have to soldier on. They have to keep going. That will be a removed 100% 10-second time penalty. There's no way he deserves that. He was getting out of the way of everyone. Sorrell and Harass. Look at this. It's very close here. This is for P4. Sector 3 yellows. That's Roscoe Armin once again. But again, OP doing a superb job holding that inside line at turn 5. Doing an absolutely superb job. Oh, Roscoe Armin, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits and retiring. No. You have to keep going. Can't give up. And it might cause a safety car as Breno crew. Oh, an incident for the Rocket. Oh my word. At the top of the hill. Spinning out. Luckily no damage. Conrad straight. 3-second time penalty. Oh my word. Back to this. They're still scrapping it out. And there's Conrad. That's quite unbelievable really. To have that damage and still be competitive is quite astonishing. It just shows, I guess, those medium tyres are doing the business. Keeping up, and he's doing a good job. And there might be some question marks after the race, of course. Particularly with those incidents between The Rock and Curving Texas. But here we go, lap 12 of 22. Just crossing over the halfway mark here at Spa. Clouds are coming. That's the story right now. Look at them. Menacing, grey, and they're getting darker as well. So the rain is coming. It's just a matter of when. Who's going to be in the right position at the right time? We'll have to wait and see. Harass is now really got some momentum behind him. He pulls to the outside. Here comes Sorrell. He's going to try and follow him. Into turn 5. He gets the position into turn 6. Well done, Harass. OP put the car in just the right places on the previous laps, but Harass got the momentum, had the DRS, and slingshotted around the outside. And fantastic racing as well. No biffing, no barging, clean, professional racing on offer here tonight. Absolutely fantastic. At the moment, the top 3 are having a laugh out there. Banana, Blocky, and GeForce Stray. As is that Server? It is. He's made a mistake at Puon. Luckily for him, no damage, but he's now fallen away from the battle pack. 6.7 seconds behind, and he has to be careful. Those tyres aren't going to be in the best of shape. Harass trying to put the hammer down, trying to create a gap. OP desperately trying to stay within the second. Those hard tyres, he's not liking them at the moment. He hasn't quite got the pace of what he had at the start of this race. Through the bus stop chicane. Look at this. 6-way battle for 4th place. Not too many racetracks can develop this kind of racing. Conrad getting to the bit better than Sorrell. But Sorrell using that outside line, he was able to get a better exit. And OP's not going to get DRS here. No, he's not. He's outside of the 1 second. Oh, and almost onto the grass goes the Red Bull. OP defends the inside line. Yes, he is. Down the inside goes Sorrell. OP's going to take the racing line. OP goes off the circuit. There he goes. Comes back on. Oh, and Reaper gets held a bit. Same as Joggles. Joggles was actually going to take an opportunity here. Down the inside. Contact at turn 8. And he gets through. Grim Reaper, he'll be absolutely furious about that. OP overshooting turn 5 massively. Now finds himself in 7th place. GeForce Server, a 3-second time penalty. He got that by running wide at 9-8. Can't run all 4 wheels off the racetrack. And Server's out. He's had a massive crash. There he is. He's done an Antonio Giovinazzi. He's out of the Belgian Grand Prix. See if we can't get a better shot. There he is there. He literally did an Antonio. My word. No safety car though. Just yellow flags. How is that not a safety car? Can I see the logic behind that, please, game? Pretty please? Joggles, a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. He cut the final chicane. Must have. Because that's an instant 3-second pen. That isn't for warnings. That's instantaneous. So he now has 3 seconds over his head. OP Magic. I can't believe I'm saying this. It's a bit of a speed hump for these guys at the moment. OP, I have a great deal of respect for. An exceptionally good driver. No pace on these tyres. God, I hate the new party system. Every time people add players into other parties, it always sends a notification. It's awful. And you can't get rid of it either. Bloody stupid. But OP has got no speed. Rain! I saw that trigger. I saw that. That flash of rain. So here we go. When they cross the line, it will be what? 8 laps to go, including lap 15. 8 laps. How long will it take for the game to decide it's time for intermediates? How long? Because I've seen here in Spa, it take ages. It takes around sometimes 6 to 7 laps. It can be instantaneous. We'll have to wait and see. But it's raining right now. And to be honest, I'd rather be on the mediums right now. I feel like they'd be the better tyre to be on. Blocky, he is keeping Dre honest right now. I'm so impressed by these two. Class of the field at the moment. These two out in front. The nearest driver is Banana Cake Pie, 6.7 seconds behind. But he won't be too frustrated. He's got a big margin to P4. It's just about holding that margin and not making mistakes, and he's doing that right now. Sorrell and Harass, both these fellas have 5-second pens for overtaking on the yellow flags. And now Sorrell is overtaking on the green flags for 4th place. Don't know why the game suddenly switched back that way for, but anywho, well done game. Deary me. Oh, the rain is starting to get a bit heavier. Cars are going to become squirrely. And unbelievably, Conrad Straight finds himself in 6th place, still with that broken wing. He's done a superb job to manage that damage. These guys still within a second of each other. The battle is still on, but OP does not look quick. He's now got Reaper right in behind. Ooh, right on board. We'll see how difficult it is, because for Reaper and for OP as well, not only do they have to deal with the intermediate conditions, they also have to deal with dirty air from the car in front, so you lose aerodynamic grip. So these cars are going to be very scary to drive, particularly through corners like this at Blanchimont. In the dry, they're nothing corners, they're absolutely flat. In the wet, it is a completely different story. They are so unbelievably terrifying, because as soon as they go, you have no chance whatsoever to catch it. And you're coming up to the most scary complex in wet conditions. Undoubtedly, the most scary complex in wet conditions. Eau Rouge radio. This part is technical enough in the dry. In the wet, you're constantly pooing yourself. All the time through there. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see how these drivers deal with it. As OP, around the outside, lovely aerial shot here. Contact, push off the circuit, comes back on, side by side, and he recedes himself back into P8. Grim Reaper trying to capitalise. Can he go for a move here? No, he can't. Oh, maybe he can around the outside. Oh, maybe. Oh my word. Joggles, a big mistake at turn 8. I was thinking Reaper might be able to overtake the both of them. Both of them have pretty shocking runs, but OP comes out on top. Oh, and Joggles runs wide, but doesn't lose the car. Well done. He didn't lose the car. That's a big thing. When you run wide like that, car can just step out. It's very difficult to not go into a wall at some point. Oh my word. You can see now the times are tumbling. 3.8 seconds. Grim Reaper is slower than his PB. So the conditions are definitely worsening, but they're not intermediates quite just yet. You can see there 3.8 seconds for Blocky of his best time. That's tyre wear, and that's more so the conditions. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. These two out in front are commanding this race, and Blocky is 100% keeping him honest. Bit less than 2 seconds separate the top two. If he can stay there and Dre gets a penalty, Blocky would be in a fantastic position. Or even more so, if Dre makes a mistake and potentially spins out, then Blocky is in a really good position. GeForce Dre has everything to lose, and he can see Blocky. He sees that delta between the two. He knows he's only just there, just in behind. He knows if he makes a mistake, his race is done. So the pressure's on. Oh. And it'll be, I wonder if one of these two is going to gamble on the intermediate tyre, because it is getting wetter. The track doesn't look wet though, it still looks dry. Gap is 2 seconds. It is increasing just a little bit. Harass now on the back of Sorel. 10ths of a second separating the two. These two have been fairly close to each other all race. The Rock getting a 3-second time penalty. Blocky in the pits. I thought someone was going to gamble, and it's Blocky. Got nothing to lose and everything to gain. If this pulls off, he might be on for a race win. Is it wet enough? Is it off? It's Joggles. He's had a moment. Onto the intermediate tyre. This will make or break his race. It's a big call, but if it pulls off, it'll be the call of the century. Out he comes. 5 laps to go. Let's ride on board with the Kiwi. Let's see what the conditions are like on this tyre. Sector 3 yellows. That's the Rock having a moment at Blanchimont. A few drivers, OP Magic, Joggles, they're now on the intermediate tyre. And Blocky, he's on the back of Conrad. He's on the back of Harass. He is gaining. Contact. Blocky needs to be calm here. Can't force anything too risky. He can't really gamble too much here. He just needs to negotiate the traffic. Just let Harass do his thing. That's the way. Sector 1 yellows. Joggles is out. He's had a massive shunt at the top of the hill. Virtual safety car deployed. And that will hamper Blocky. I think he's on the better tyre right now. I think it's time for inters. Harass still out there. We haven't got the call that DRS is disabled though, but there is definitely spray coming off those tyres. Unless, of course, the prompt has come up and I haven't noticed it, but I'm pretty sure it's still DRS enabled. But Blocky needs to get by Harass as soon as possible. And into the pits goes G-Force Dre. That safety car may have ruined the Kiwis race. Here we go, back on the green flag racing. Oh, and Harass wants to fight down the inside of Blocky. That is a ballsy move, but he's desperate. He wants this. He really, really wants this. G-Force Dre coming out of the pit. But no! Sir Al wants to go in! How did Blocky not recognise that? Of course he wanted to go in! Oh no! No, no, no! And there goes Dre out of the pits! It was the best call in the world from Blocky! It was the right call to go in and pit for intermediate tyres, but the virtual safety car has saved G-Force Dre! Oh my goodness, and look at the gap, 5.6 seconds. Oh no. Unbelievable. But what was, I mean, of course Sorrell was going to go into the pits. I think everyone would have recognised that. Oh no, and into the wall. Who's that? It's OP! Oh, after a blinding call, he made the same call Blocky did. The exact same call. He was in 4th, and he spins out at the top of the hill. Blocky, a 3-second time penalty. Oh my goodness. I don't believe it. That would have been so interesting to see. OP lets his teammate by. Does OP have damage? No, he doesn't. He just decided to let his teammate by. I don't believe it. That could have been an awesome race to watch with Blocky and Dre, but that has ultimately not come true. The gap between them, 6.1 seconds. And Blocky getting a 3-second time penalty means that Dre now has the upper hand. Dre has no pens next to his name. He's kept it clean from memory. Oh dear. Sector 3 yellows, that is OP. Having an almighty moment. He's now just inside the top 10. He's had a horrid race. And if he pits, he'll fall outside the top 10, I think. Or maybe not. I think it might be close between him and the Rock. Rock 30.1 seconds behind. OP's going to dive in, get that wing changed, come back out. Oh dear, and he made contact with the wall as well, just as I looked away. Oh, but I don't believe it, man. I genuinely don't believe that. Ah, that virtual safety car saved Dre, for sure. With the field neutralised, no one can gain, no one can lose time. OP Maker retires from the session. There we go. Oh well. 10 finishes here at Spa. This is one less than what we had at Hungaroring. So everyone who finishes will score something. Huzzah. And we still have something going on at the very least. Harass and Sorrell currently separated by 1.8, but more importantly, Harass and Conrad separated by 0.8 of a second. These are the closest battles on the racetrack at the moment. And what can Conrad do? Does he have enough speed underneath him to challenge the defending champion? He is at the moment sort of hovering around 0.9 of a second, so he's got speed. At the very least, he's matching Harass. Now we've got 2 laps to go. 2 more tours of this racetrack, 14 kilometres. What can Conrad do? And that gap between Harass and Sorrell has just closed to 1.3. So We might have a 3-race scrap here. But what a drive from our top 3 tonight. Seemingly nailing it. Banana Cake Pie currently in 3rd. 11 seconds in front of P4. Blocky Rex in 2nd. An incredibly respectable drive. Hampered by a virtual. An inspired tyre choice to go onto the Inters when he did. But he at the moment is in 2nd place, 10 seconds behind Drake, who has commanded this entire race. He's done very, very well, capitalizing on Curving Texas's mistake at the safety car restart. I simply do not believe that happened for Curving. Losing it on the safety car restart like that. Conrad, 3-second time penalty. But it seems like with the gaps like they are, it's going to be a sort of victory lap for G4 Stray. Looking behind though, we still have a battle. That gap between Harass and Sorrells has closed a little bit more. 1.3 seconds. I just want to look just quickly. Not you first, Sorrell. So he's got 3 seconds. He would have served that 5 seconds in the pit. Same with Harass. But Harass has got no pens. Conrad 6, 9 seconds. So Conrad will ultimately fall down the order a little bit. F1 Hawk had a drive-through, of course. He's going to score points. And in fact, he's going to finish in front of Conrad. So it might be P6 for him. Curving Texas, he too has no pen. So he'll finish in front of Conrad as well. Grim Reaper, no... Oh, 2 warnings next to his name. So, and the Rock, I think, is pretty much planted in 10th place. So it seems like the finishing order will be Dre from Blocky, Banana, Harass, if he keeps that margin, will jump up to up into P4 with Sorrell in 5th. Hawk will jump up to 6th. Curving will jump up to 7th. I think even Grim Reaper will jump up to 8th, with Conrad jumping all the way down to 9th place, just because of how close that field is. But this man seems to be untouchable at the moment, and with his main rival, OP Magic, retiring from this race, G4 Stray is going to take a full complement of points. Who's got fastest lap? It's Curving Texas, so not quite the full complement, but it's still 25 points in the bag. Well done, G4 Stray, winner of the Belgian Grand Prix. Blocky Rex, a superb drive, will come home in 2nd for Alfa Romeo. Not a bad result after what Curving did on the safety car restart. Banana will come home in P3. Another podium to this man. He just happens to be there sometimes. He has this habit of just getting podiums. Very good at it. Sorrell will cross the line in 4th. Will drop down to 5th, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Conrad will cross the line in 6th, but drops down to 7th. Then drops down to 8th. Then I believe he will jump down to 9th place, with his teammate Grim Reaper overtaking him, if I'm not mistaken. No, Conrad will pip him, just. Conrad will get 8th place, and the 4 points that come along with it. And it's just waiting on the Rock. He'll be thankful that this is all over. Come home with 1 point for Ferrari and for himself. Throat is a bit screwed after this one. I have to say, driver of the day goes to Sorrell. We'll have a look at the position changes just after the podium celebrations. Here are your top 3. Another win for G4 Stray, and opening up his massive race, his massive championship lead. He was on 43 points, I think, so now that would be 68-point lead he has over OP Magic. That's absolutely massive halfway through the championship season. I feel like he's going to be somewhat untouchable towards the end of this championship season. But here we go, your unofficial race results. GeForce Dre winning after starting second on the grid. Blocky in P2, his first podium, and a fantastic drive from him. Honestly, he kept Dre honest all the way through the race, made an inspired tyre choice, but ultimately that virtual safety car absolutely ended any hope of him getting a race win. Banana somehow in third place. He'll be surprised as much as I am and as much as everyone else that he's in third. Harass in P4, Sorel in P5 after starting from 10th. There we go, making up 5 positions. F1 Hawk in 6th, Curving Texas in 7th. He'll claim fastest lap as well, but he ultimately shot himself in the foot tonight's race, dearie me. Conrad Strait in 8th, Grim Reaper in 9th. And The Rock rounding out the top 10 and the finishes of the Belgian Grand Prix. The finishes, we had 10 finishes from 15 starters. Dearie me. Oh, my word. Dearie me. That was a race and a half, wasn't it? Spa just has this habit of turning it on, doesn't it? Even in the wet conditions, we still had a race going on. The field started to spread out, of course, but the race was still on. Oh my goodness. What a race. Ah, thank you, Spa, again. Little wonder why people say it's one of the best racetracks in the world. Absolutely magnificent. But I think that will end round 11 here on Race Spec Esports. Next week, time for another legendary racetrack. Racetrack we all know and love. Not particularly technical, but the atmosphere at this racetrack is second to none. It's the home of the Tifosi. It's the home of horsepower. It's Formula One's temple of speed, and most importantly, is the home of Ferrari. It's time for the Italian Grand Prix at Autodromo Nazionale Monza. That is going to be most likely a carnage fest. It definitely was last season, with one of the most dramatic finishes I think I have ever witnessed in my life. Season 2 Italian Grand Prix was absolutely nuts. Hopefully Season 3 can continue that trend. But until next time, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you at the Italian Grand Prix in Monza. Until then, good night.